Hello everybody, Final Miner back here again, and well, let's continue where we left off, shall we? I did a little bit of work on the base between episodes. You might notice one big difference right here, or two big different, or maybe three big differences. I went ahead and I finished up all of the towers. Yeah. Because we had already finished up the one, I decided I'll just go ahead and do the other three. Also, down here at the bottom, I'm experimenting with this. I'm replacing this chiseled stone with scaffolding. It kind of gives it more of a factory look, I think, and it also matches the colors we've already chosen. So, yeah, I kind of like it. I haven't had a chance to see what the base looks like at nighttime, though. So let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. And I think once we finish replacing this with scaffolding, it's going to look even better. Very nice. Very, very nice. So I think what we'll do... Oh, I did do one other thing. I broke all the ice underneath here. Yeah, just why? Just because. I don't know. I actually have some plans for that in the future, but that's way down the road. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and try replacing the rest of that bottom ridge with scaffolding and take a good look at it and see if we think it looks really horrible, looks pretty good. We'll see. I think it's going to look good. To me, that's one of the secrets of doing a good job of making a good looking base, and that is you just keep tinkering with it. You don't ever consider it to be totally perfect. If you look at it and you think, man, that kind of needs something, I think I'll try this, and just give it a try. Try it out. It may look awesome. If it looks terrible, you know, you can undo it. Unless you thought something like, hey, my base will look awesome if I set off a nuclear bomb inside of it. And then it would be kind of hard to undo it. Man, I really wish we had Buildcraft in 110. I really do. I think a lot of people consider that mod to be, I don't know, outdated or something. There's so many good tools in it that I love using. They finally got the builder back into it. And the builder is awesome. The builder lets you take buildings, make blueprints, and build them again. I think RF Tools might have something similar to that. But I know Buildcraft does. So yeah, I really like the way this looks. I really like the way it looks. Really, really, really. So we'll go ahead and do the other two. There's only, I think, 2 things we have to finish after this, and then we can consider this base to be really finished. One of them is the glass windows. Yeah, we still don't have windows. Even at this stage, we still don't have windows in our base. And then the other is lighting. Right now we still just got torches on the floor, and that's not cool. Not cool. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do for lighting. I don't think we're going to do lighting this time around. I think we're just going to do this and the windows, and then we're going to move on to something very important. Something very, very important. Something that will make my life a little bit easier. If nothing else, it'll make my life easier between recording, because there's something I've been doing by hand up to this point. Okay, and over here I may have to go make more scaffold. I hope not, because I pretty much just used up a bunch of my treated wood. Okay, almost done. I know breaking blocks and replacing them with a different block is not the most exciting thing in the world. But I think you guys are going to like the way that it looks when we're done. So the other thing that we're going to work on after the windows is auto farming. Auto farming. That's pretty important because farming is where we are getting our power right now. And if we can get that set up to where we're auto farming, that means we're going to be able to consider our power system, maybe not finished, but at least it'll be a closed circuit for now. It'll be something that's completely automated and it'll take care of itself. So that'll be good. That's good. Yeah. Okay, good. We had enough. And there. So yeah, it looks good from this side. I think it looks even better from the river. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that turned out. Now for the windows, you might be able to guess. I'm going to use a similar kind of glass to what we've been using before. And that is chiseled stone frame glass. Stone frame glass. That's what we used up in the towers. So if for nothing else, I want to be consistent within the same building. We may end up, hello chest, we may end up using it over here also to get rid of those streaks, because streaks, I'm not a big fan of the streaks. And once again, we're in a position where we can build, but we can't use the builder's wand because the builder's wand is just not going to help us that much. If you're only putting down one block in a line at a time, yeah, you're just wasting durability on a builder's wand if you do that. There we go. Tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and finish placing all the rest of these windows, and I'll be back right when that's done. Okay, we have windows. Yay! Windows. Yay! All we have to do is get these torches off of the floor and we'll have a completed building. Yay! You may have noticed earlier, but I didn't mention it. Our orchid garden has expanded a bit. We started with 1, and off of that 1 we've got 5 now. So I've been kind of tending to it. I used the watering can on it a little bit, and that's why we have so much now. Okay, moving on. Let's see, don't need you anymore. Yeah, we ended up removing all of this style of chiseled stone. So, oh well. So I think the auto farming system we're going to go with is the Actually Additions. And you know what? It's probably easier to go farmer. Yeah, the Actually Additions farmer. Inori crystal block. Ooh, that's going to be pricey. That's going to be very pricey. Marble. So anyway, or iron casing rather. I think we have an iron casing somewhere. Iron casing. Actually, that might have been. Okay, good. I was worried there for a second. That might have been the Extra Utilities 2 casing. But we're going to need 36. Yeah, we're going to need 36 iron to get the next step done. So let's see. Let's make this. Take the whole thing, for crying out loud. Let's make this go as quickly as we can. I think we have 7 furnaces here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So we'll split. Really? That's 6, 7. Okay. We'll split this load evenly among all of them. And we're going to use coal coke to make sure that we don't have to spend too much time fueling either. Yeah, I know. Automated smelting is something we're going to have to get set up too. the fact that we're still using the furnace at this stage in the game. It's actually really quick, because when we're using 7, we're basically smelting at ×7 speed. However, loading and unloading them, it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt. Come on, you. 4 times 7 is 28, so we're not quite ready yet. Not quite ready. Yeah, and a bunch of these, it looks like, because I stuck 18 in each one, I can stick a couple of pieces of charcoal and we'll be fine. I'll just take one out of here. I should have it completely smelted. 7 times 5 is 35. That's still not quite enough. Here we go. That gets it. Alright. And I think we needed 4 seeds. Wow, really? All my seeds are out in the farm. Okay. So we'll sleep for a minute, because I'm scared of the dark, and well, not scared of the dark. I'm scared of the creepers that come out in the dark. Yeah, that's what I meant. Good. And here's our seeds. You know what? Let's take a stack inside. There may be something else we have to craft with seeds in the future. Okay, so we have the casing. We have enough iron. We just have to convert it to Inori crystal blocks. And in general, when you're converting stuff, it's more efficient to shoot it with the laser in a block form. Like, I could do iron ingots, but it's more efficient to do it in block form. And the reason why, I think Actual Editions itself has the recipe as costing less for an entire block, but also you have to pay something like 1,000 RF per item. So if I had 1 block, or if I had 9 pieces of iron, the 9 pieces of iron, I would have to pay 9,000 RF just to start the change. And then I would also have to pay a bit of energy per ingot to transform the block, if that makes sense. So, in other words, you can save at least 8,000 RF just by blasting an entire block at once. Okay, anyway, you probably didn't come here to hear me lecture you on math. Just take my word for it. If you don't want to think about that, you don't really care, just take my word for it. It's cheaper to do them in groups. A little bit of house cleaning. House cleaning. More house cleaning. Yeah, we've gotten really low on redstone. 9 redstone. And that's all come from our orchid garden. So that's why I had the watering can going at it earlier on. Okay. Let's see here. Let me place you. Yes. There we go. So on the left side here is where your seeds will go, and on the right hand side is where your output will go. And I believe the farmer always tries to replant a crop that's already there. So in other words, the canola is not going to slowly take over all the wheat. The wheat's not going to slowly take over all the canola. It should replant what was already there. And we need some power in it. So we're going to get our laser wrench. Is this like a wrench with mirrors on the inside or what? Like, how do you... Yeah. How do you do that? Anyway. So we've already got this set to output. That's good. We'll set this down here, and then we should be able to... Haha. Uh-oh. So I can foresee a problem here. It's putting items into different slots. It hasn't started replanting them yet. Let's see how it replants. Also, it's not harvesting our IE hemp. That's not a great thing. So it looks like I was completely and totally wrong about how it's planting. It's just planting seeds just wherever. And then the canola, huh? Yeah, canola is kind of a higher priority. So we may have to choose. Wheat, not a very big deal. Like, I don't need that much wheat. I really just don't need wheat very badly. And since this is not going to grow in here properly anyway, we might as well get rid of it. There we go. Alright. So I learned something today. I have used this thing before. I didn't remember it having that kind of trouble. But anyway. So now we know this is going to be our dedicated canola garden. That's fine. That's going to be our power source. We probably need it to be that way anyway. It's just now catching up. Good stuff. We've got worms spread everywhere except for the middle. So we should get really good canola production out of this. Really, really good canola production. That's great. The next step that we would take to really max this place out is to replace the ceiling with the greenhouse glass, like what we talked about before. But for now, this is doing pretty well. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab this wheat, so it's not outputting wheat anymore. Wheat. And let's see, I think this is south. Yeah, so let's see if we can get this fella south. Excellent. Okay, so now we've got our auto farmer harvesting our crops, replanting them, and then piping canola over here to our canola press. Although it's only going in this one. I'm a little curious about that, why it's only going in one of them. Here we go. So I think it's trying to max this one out first or something. Maybe it's not ticking quickly enough, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It's working. If it gets into a serious overflow situation, I think it'll probably spread them out better. For now, we don't have to worry about it too much because we're just banking all that energy in these capacitors. So whether it burns it all at once or slowly over time, we don't really care. Not really. So did it actually completely replant? It looks like it did. I was wondering because it's only got 2 seeds left. Yeah. But looks like it was enough. Okay, so we've got our power system up and running. That was actually a lot easier than I had feared it would be. I had kind of feared, it was going to be as complicated as the other laser system was. Like the item laser system. Looks like we've pretty much got that worked out. Alright. Next on the agenda. I feel like I really like this base, but I feel like for some of the machining that we're going to need to do, we're going to have to be able to run a lot of pipes or maybe lasers, I don't know, onto the tops and bottoms of machines. And I really don't want to tear up the floor of this base and have lasers under it or conduits or anything else. I think that would look pretty horrible. We did a good job of making this base look good. I don't want to tear it up and have pipes and crap running around underneath. So, all that complaining, just to say, we're going to need another building. And this building will be the place where our resources get dropped off to be processed. So whenever we bring in a bunch of ores back to the base, to be processed, then they'll go to this building, the new building we're going to build, and they'll be processed there, and then we can have them transported back here to the main base to be stored. So this area, we're going to continue to have a little bit of machinery here, just for crafting purposes. Eventually we'll have our applied energistics system in here, and that will let us do our crafting and storage. We're going to continue having our mass storage in here, but for processing and stuff, we'll stick that somewhere else. And one of the goals is to eventually have mostly industrial engineering stuff doing our processing, mostly. So the big industrial engineering multi-block crusher, that's one of my goals. We'll be using that. There will be a few cases where we don't, like redstone. We've already talked about redstone ore. We're going to use the pulverizer for that. And there may be one or two other things where we really don't want to process it through the crusher. Draconium, whenever we get some draconium, we're going to treat that specially. But just for the the mass ore processing that we're going to be doing, yeah, IE crushers. Only sleep at night. I'm old enough to determine my own bedtime. Come on. There we go. Hello, orchids. Aren't you so pretty? I've talked about immersive engineering a lot. That's also going to end up being our main mining mechanic. We're going to be using the excavators. And that's going to provide us with things like, iron ore. And maybe even gold if we can find it. We'll really have to see what we can find. But there's a mod add-on that I've added called Immersive Petroleum, and it has something similar to the excavator. You can find chunks that have oil in them, and so when you find that, you can build a pump jack and pump up the oil from that chunk, and then there's a nice, awesome looking huge refinery multi-block that can refine it into usable oil. And we can use that to power our diesel generators and things like that. So there's a lot of really cool building we've got left to do. Ding ding ding. A lot of really cool building left to do. So I'm going to look around and see how many resources we have and kind of do some calculation, and we'll figure whether we need to get into refining first, like at the refining building, the ore processing building, or if we can just go ahead and start setting up some mass mining. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be able to go ahead and go into refining, and I think we have enough to go ahead and build our crusher. We actually have quite a bit of iron, thankfully, because iron can be a real problem if you don't have a lot of it. It looks like we have enough iron. I guess we have enough redstone. I'm guessing we do. Steel scaffolding and the light engineering block and the steel fence. And the hopper. The hoppers are going to cost us 45 iron just by themselves. So let's make sure we have enough of everything. Steel scaffolding, I'm pretty sure that's just going to be steel. Right? Steel scaffolding. Immersive engineering. Yeah, so that's just steel on top of steel. It's the same as the wood scaffolding we've been making, except made out of steel. So that one will cost us 3, and I think if you, okay, 2 steel gives you 2 steel rods. Wait, is that right? 2 steel is 4 steel rods, my bad. So each 2 of these is 1 ingot. So that's like 4.5 steel per, right? 4.5 steel per. 4.5 steel per batch, and you get 6. So less than 1 steel you can get for an entire block. That's actually that's pretty good. I like that. That's a very balanced recipe. So steel scaffolding, that'll cost us maybe 8 steel. Not too bad. The light engineering block and the steel fence. Let's see. Light engineering block. Yeah, this is where it starts to get a lot more resource intensive. So 3 copper, 4 iron, and then another 1. Okay, so that's 4 and 1. So that's 5 copper plus 8, so 12 iron. 5 copper and 12 iron for 2 of them. Wow. So 6 iron and like 2.5 copper per block. So we're going to need almost a stack of iron just to build the engineering blocks. Wow. Wow, wow. That's a lot. Yeah. So that's why you automate things, right? That's why you automate things. Let's go ahead and just get a bunch of stuff cooking up. A bunch of stuff. We should have enough copper. We'll go ahead and cook up. We probably just need to do a half stack. Alright. And we'll get some more steel running. The induction smelter. You know, most mods have a certain way that you're supposed to produce steel. And thermal expansion shortcuts all of them. You're shortcutting it, basically. You don't even have to go to the nether to build a induction smelter. But if you do it the railcraft way or the immersive engineering way, then you do have to. So, oh darn, there we go. So, I don't know, sometimes I feel kind of maybe guilty doing it that way. You know, like I'm cheating. Apparently I'm constantly worried about whether or not I'm cheating. Apparently I've got a lot of guilt or something. Minecraft guilt. Oh, I didn't even go to the nether to get that. But yeah, I like to play mods the way they're intended to be played, because you get the best experience that way, I think. But anyway, going to the nether, building a big multi-block. We probably will build the immersive engineering enhanced blast furnace later. One, because it looks quite awesome. Quite awesome. And 2, because it's faster. It uses RF as well as coal coke, and it's much faster. So because we had already pre-processed some of that iron, I think we've actually got enough to get started with some of this. We still need to get our copper running though. So I think what I'm going to do, this may be controversial, I'm going to make another furnace. Yes, another furnace. Because that'll give us 8 furnaces, and then I can split stacks across 8 nice and evenly that way. Trust me, it's better this way. Okay, so we're going to pause for a second here, get some ore processing done. We'll be right back. We got a little bit lucky with the steel production here. I needed more pulverized coal to be able to continue making steel. Well, I can make that here in the sag mill, and luckily they're right next to each other. So right now I've got it grinding up coal and just pushing it straight in there. Didn't even have to move anything. Just checking in on the power system here to see if everything's going okay. And, oh yeah, we've got a backlog of canola oil, backlog of regular oil here. Not on this side. So it looks like it's going to try to fill this up, and then it will try to fill that up. Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's fine because the thing is running at full blast and we've got a backlog. So that's fine. We're constantly producing 100 RF a tick. We're going to have a nice backlog of power. We're not going to have to worry about that at all. Okay, so while we're waiting for the steel to finish up, because you know the steel, that's going to take forever, let's go ahead and clear out a place where we can put our machinery. So the whatchamacallit, the crusher is going to be 3 by 5, that big of a space. And so we're going to need a building that can do a good job of housing that. This is going to be a bigger building. It's not going to be big as the main base, although maybe it should be. I don't know. It's going to be a lot bigger than the power building. So I think we're not going to complete the entire thing this time. We're just going to do the groundwork, and then we'll try to set it up so that we can, you know, actually get the crusher built today. So here we are using the scary axe. Clear out some trees. Wonder how long until it gets scary. I think you have to run around for it to charge up. I don't remember if I've said this before. There's a mod that I really like using. Yeah! Anyway, there's a mod that I really like using called, in 1.7.10 it was called Auto Plant. And basically, it's not like what it might sound like. What it did was, whenever a sapling was sitting on the ground, after 5 minutes the item is supposed to expire, right? It's just going to disappear. Well, with Auto Plant, at that 5-minute mark, instead of disappearing, the sapling will try to plant itself on the ground. And it's quite awesome, because what you get is you can run through, you can have a forest fire or something like that, and you come back through it later on and the forest is actually regrowing itself. You know, so a lightning strike or pyromaniac tendencies, something like that happens, and it gets destroyed. You still get plants. The only thing is, with some auto farms, it can cause a little bit of trouble, because with most auto farms, every once in a while they'll miss a sapling here or there. Most farms will do that, and so you can end up having auto farms with trees growing out all around them in places you didn't mean for them to be. Especially when I was using Thaumcraft golems to chop down wood, that would happen, because you kind of have to tell the golems which area to chop in. Yeah, but not a big problem. So we're going to cut down as few trees as possible to get this done, but we are going to need a good bit of space. I don't know, I feel like this is a nice starting space. Thought I heard a creeper. Anyway, we're going to use our super duper awesome slime shovel. Clear out the land here. And I think that'll give us a nice big flat spot to get started with. I swear, this is the awesomest shovel I've ever used. The only complaint I have is it accidentally digs pretty often. Yeah, let's go over a bit more, because I want it all to be on a flat piece of land. About 5 spaces more should do it. Yeah. If you haven't already figured it out, I try to make things look good, including the land around it. I don't like just digging a big hole in the ground, or having square buildings, or having dirt piled up along. Oh, look at that. We just got our first ender lily. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get that sucker planted and running right away. Anyway, I was saying I don't like to have just sawed off dirt walls on the sides of buildings. That's why I tried to peel the hill back a little bit from our power plant and from our greenhouse, because I just think it looks way better that way. So you may feel a little bit impatient with me sometimes when I'm doing that, but hopefully the result will be good. I always hope that no matter what we do, it ends up looking good, like how the base does now. And because we're going to have that with us all series, and every time you see it, you're going to think, okay, yeah, the base looks pretty awesome. Anyway, I'll go ahead and cut here for a second, and I'll finish clearing this out. Probably clear out some snow and grass too. And then we'll get started on building the crusher. Okay, really quick. I'm looking at what we're going to do with our ender lily. They grow a lot faster on end stone. So it'd be great if we could just plant it in end stone. Obviously we haven't been to the end yet. Probably not going to the end for a long time. So is there another way to get end stone? And the answer is yes. If we have a fluid transposer, a little bit of sandstone and pump, I think that's about a fourth of an ender pearl, or maybe it's a whole ender pearl, I can't remember. Pump that into the sandstone, we'll get some end stone. The thing is, we don't have any ender pearls to make resident ender with yet. Oh, sad face. Oh. So anyway, it's going to be a while. Probably I'll just go ahead and plant the thing somewhere, and I'll water it a bit. I'll give it some tender loving care with the watering can, and then hopefully we will have an end pearl soon, and we can build end stone, and we can plant it on end stone, and we can get them faster.